Hello, friends. I promised I would tell you all about the crystal healing table and the Reiki session that I went for today. I've never done Reiki before, and I've never even heard of a crystal healing table until I went to Within Harmony, which is a store in a town next to where I live, in Lehighton, called Within Harmony. So, it was a 45-minute session, and I had absolutely no idea what to expect. I intentionally did not look any information up ahead of time. I didn't want to know, because then I'd be terrified. I suffer from a little bit of anxiety, so I didn't want to be anxious more than I was already going to be. So I arrived, and I took off my boot over my surgical bandage and my other shoe, and you lay on a table, and then there's this copper-like system thing that goes over you, and it's got different colored lights that line up with your chakras. And these are quartz crystals that come from the Himalayan mountains, and they're supposed to have healing properties in them. And the fella explains what's going to happen. He picks the wavelength of the crystals, and we were doing a healing one today to sort of align my chakras and to provide healing, overall healing. So you lay down, and they put pillows under your knees and under your feet, and then you get a headset, and you get a thing over your eyes, and then you adjust it so that you can't see light. So I do all that. So then we start, and it's not music that's playing in your ears. It's like vibrational sounds, and kind of sounded like the wind a little bit, but like it really, the purpose is to put you into a deep sleep, into a meditative like sleep. And he told me that my body would separate from my physical body, like my mind, and I would hear myself sleeping, but I would be fully awake and I wouldn't be dreaming. And that is exactly what happened, which was so bizarre. So, at first, my first instinct was to be I was completely anxious. I was like, oh my God, I gotta rip this off. Like, my temples started to tingle, my head started, like, I thought I was having a stroke. Like, I was like, but I had to, like, calm myself down and be like, no, you are gonna have an open mind, you're gonna do this, you're gonna let, because I don't know, the first thing that came to my mind, seriously, because, I have to be ridiculous all the time, with slee stacks, for those of you old enough to remember who they are. And I was like, oh no, like, I don't know if I just thought, like, in the beginning I was just like, this is so opposed to what I was raised with, right? This is so different than what my tradition allowed for. But I was like, no, we're here to open your mind, we're here to heal. So as I was like sort of going into the rhythmic breathing that you do with meditation, I could feel like, like I was sleeping. I could hear myself sleeping, because I do sound like a slee stack when I sleep, like, right? So I heard that, but I was completely awake and aware of what was going on, and like images and words. It's like you were communicating with things, and seeing things, but they weren't pictures. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't like a dream where you see like things. So, and this is out of order, because I don't remember like what order they would go in. But at one point, I started thinking about like physical earth things, people here on earth that, like my friend who went away, like the kids, stuff like that. And every time I did that, my temple would tingle, and I would hear a voice that would say, no, this is not about them. Today is about you and your healing. And it would like kick the thought right out of my mind. And it was like really like astonishing, like it really worked. And then, so at one point I was like not that I was a bird, but I was flying like a bird, and I flew over like this part of Scotland, and I knew it was Scotland. There was like a piper in the distance. It was like an old house, and it was like on a beach, and I could see it really clearly. And I I heard like, this is where your people are from. They were forced to go to England. I don't know, we need you to like keep up the practices and, the Druid culture, whatever. Like, it was just like these messages of like positivity. Like, I want to say, like, it wasn't scary. At no point was I scared. It was more like just like these messages that would come in. And as the lights would go over different parts of your body, I don't know if they turn them higher in certain parts or how it all works, if they're all on at the same time or whatever, but you could physically feel, I could physically feel, like when it was over like my pelvis, like that chakra, I could feel like my pelvis like melding to, like, I could feel it, and I could feel the vibration, and it was over my heart. And when it was over my heart, it like burst into color, and it was about love, and like the purpose of life is to love. And we know, like, and I know this all sounds kooky. It was like I had taken drugs, but I did not, I promise. I saw angels. Like, they didn't look anything like what we think they look like. They were like silver. They were silver beams, but not light, if that makes sense. They were like silver beams, and they were very like welcoming, and like they were like, we're here for you, and this is, you're part of a bigger energy, and these are the gifts that we've given you, and we need you to use these gifts, to help others, and to understand that they're energy too, and that they're surrounded by light and love also. And then this is, I mean, all of it's kooky, but so the third eye is right here. So like as it went up, like it went over my throat, and it didn't feel like I was choking, but it felt like somebody was like massaging my throat. And your third chakra is your ability to communicate and to speak clearly, and whatever. And so I felt that, and then it went to my third eye, and like I don't know how to explain this, but it almost felt like they were drilling, like, but it didn't hurt. Like when you dig a cat hole, right? You have to dig dirt. It looks like they were digging out my third eye. And I remembered this story, or this thing that happened to me years ago. I was at a haunted house that the 4-H ran in New Jersey. My son, Julian, is totally into haunted houses, and every October I have to go to like multiple ones every weekend. And we were at this one, and it was close to our house. It was the only one that was close to our house. And they had little stands up and stuff. And I thought that this one stand was selling baked goods. So, never a girl to pass up a good brownie. I like go to walk to the stand, and I walk right into the post, and I get my hair caught in this, like, I don't know, these lights that were up. And this woman looked at me, and I didn't realize I didn't realize right away it wasn't a brownie stand. So she looked right at me, and she goes, you need to open your third eye. And I'm like, what the hell is a third eye? Like, I was like, and then I realized there were tarot cards and stuff. I was like, oh, like, you're not selling brownies? Oh, okay. And so I walked away, but like just the way she said it to me, it was like the weirdest thing, because I didn't know this person. And it was just weird. But anyway, when I was doing the thing today, I was like, oh, like they're having to dig that sucker out, because, like my mind has gotten in the way. And then at some point I saw a third eye. And it was like, how like when you wake up and it's like your eyes are crusty and you're like blinking and blinking? That's what it felt like. Like my head was like blinking. I don't know how to explain it. But like it was beautiful. It was so beautiful that I started to weep. Like it was so incredibly beautiful. And it was like this surrounding of love. And then my family was there. Most of my family has passed on. So my mom was there, like when she was healthy, and my dad was there smoking his pipe, healthy. And then another person was there who said, hey, your dad did a great job. Your mom did a great job with you. And I was like, they did, and then there was my brother Timmy, but he was an adult. And I knew that he was my brother because he looked like my brother Mike, but he had red hair. But I knew that was my brother Timmy. And he was kind of like standing. It was like we were at a campfire without the fire. And they were all like, we're here and we love you. And that like the angels were surrounding them. And like there was just energy and love and like light. And it was amazing. Like, and I could hear myself like snoring. And I knew that I was awake. It was so nuts. And then, and I really like, he must have focused the crystals on my third eye, because he must have seen that was a place that I needed to work. And he was doing Reiki as this was going on. And it was just so emotional, like just like laying, like the burdens coming out, like pouring out of me, all the things that we stress about. I have this weird hair. freaking me out here. You know, all these things that stress us out and that we worry about, and the relationships that we have that we can't control. And, you know, it just like, it all just melted away. And then, like, you know, I thought like, oh my, in the beginning, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm never going to last 45 minutes. I'm going to want to be out of here in 5 minutes. But then all of a sudden he's tapping me and it's time to get up. Like, tears are streaming down my face. I'm like, dude, does everybody cry? Because a lot of people do, because a lot of people have just years and years of, you know, stored up emotion or stored up energy that they have to let go, negative energy, so that they can heal properly. And that happens a lot. And it was really an incredible experience. Like, more happened than I know that I forgot. He did have me talk about what I saw and everything so that I could remember it a little more clearly now. But it was beautiful. Like, it was, and when I went outside, like, everything had more color. The sky was bluer. The trees were greener. Like, people didn't irritate me the way they normally do. Like, this woman who tried to, like, run me over. It didn't irritate me. Like, I was, like, very copacetic. I do have a headache. I've had a headache, you know, kind of since then. But that could be just because I'm on a zero sugar diet. You know, and I was tired. I felt like I could go home and go to sleep. But I intentionally, I had hikers in the yard, so I couldn't go to sleep. But I got home and I made a from scratch meal, which for me that's a labor of love. I made red beets and ate them, and then made cauliflower mashed potatoes and ate them, and chicken wrapped in bacon, which, by the way, you should eat that too. But it was really good. It was definitely worth. I paid. I think it was. I had a coupon because I had gone to spin the Wookiee wheel. But it was, I think, $75 for 45 minutes. So, and my friend and former co-worker Lana is a Reiki master or leader, or whatever they're called, and she said that's the going rate for the crystal tables. So I recommend it. I mean, even if you just try it one time to help, like, sort of like, I don't know, it worked. It really did. I feel like it was like when you go to the chiropractor and they crack everything and you kind of line up. It felt like that emotionally, like things were just lined up, and I'm much more, you know, things don't bother me now. Things that I had to let go of, that I knew I had to let go of, I have let go of. Like, haven't thought about them since. Like, it's like, whew, what a relief. I don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. It is a full moon tonight. It is the buck moon. So I always try to light a fire and then write a page of, some people call it a burn your shit fire. And you just kind of write down everything that you regret or any intentions you have, good or bad, and you just toss it in the fire. So I did that tonight and had great chats with the hikers, and I'm tired now, so I am getting ready to go to bed. But I didn't want to forget to share this experience with you. It was legit. I'll probably do it again. I think people go like every 2 weeks. BRG is not a person who goes every 2 weeks. BRG will go back next month and do it again next month. At some point, but I did really enjoy it, and I would do it again. And I think I'd spend less time being all worried in the beginning and paranoid and anxious, and go right into the sleep, because it was great. It really was a release. So, you know, I don't know if there's anything in crystals or not, but you know, crystals do power computers and watches, and, you know, one-day cars, and, you know, probably like alien spacecraft. So I think there's something there that we don't understand, but we don't have to understand it if it works. So it was cool. It was a cool experience. So all the best of light and love to you, and I will see you next time. Be well. Bye-bye.